In the heart of the White House, in a place reserved for moments that define a presidency, hangs a painting that captures not just a gesture, but a resurrection. A fist raised, defiant and unbowed, painted in bold strokes of courage. The man in that portrait, Donald J. Trump, did not just survive an assassin's bullet, he emerged from that dark hour a changed man. Not merely a leader, but something more to millions. A symbol, a vessel, a chosen figure whose path, they now believe, is steered by the divine. He still feels it. Not the bullet, but the echo of that day. The throb in his right ear is not just physical, it is spiritual. A constant reminder that he was touched by death, but cradled by something higher. That moment in Butler, Pennsylvania, wasn't just an attack on a candidate, it was an attack on destiny. It was a test. And to his followers, it was a miracle. Because as the sun set over that small Pennsylvania town, one life ended, a supporter's life lost in the crowd, and another was reborn on stage. When the shots rang out, chaos erupted. When the blood hit the ground, reality shifted. And when Trump, bloodied but alive, raised his fist, it was not politics. It was testimony. That rally lives on now in the marrow of his second term. In his tone, in his pauses, in the reverence with which he speaks of the American spirit and the divine. He is not the same man who first descended that golden escalator years ago. He is not even the man who once held the nuclear codes. He is something else now, humbled by mortality, elevated by belief. He talks often now about being saved by God. But not just saved, chosen, preserved, not for himself, but for a mission. And if once he was boastful, now he is purposeful. If once he spoke of walls and winds, now he speaks of providence, of salvation, of trials ordained to shape a nation. The assassination attempt is not a memory for him, it is a companion. It follows him into every room. It shadows every policy. It whispers through every executive order. And it is in the eyes of every supporter who now sees him not just as a president, but as a man delivered by divine hands. Ralph Reed said it best, though he's hardly alone. It is very hard not to see the hand of Providence on his life, he told USA Today, because they've felt it, too. In that harrowing moment when a rally turned into a battlefield, and yet the leader stood, face bleeding, fist in the air. The painting in the White House is more than art, it is a marker in time. A new chapter. It says, I was tested. I was broken open. And I am still here. The second term of Donald Trump has taken on a tone no political advisor could script. It is not strategy, it is conviction. It is not agenda, it is calling. The themes of divine protection, of survival for purpose, have woven into every address. His speeches now carry scripture as much as they carry slogans. And when he speaks of America, he no longer says, great again, without adding, by the grace of God. Supporters call him a miracle. Detractors call it manipulation. But none can deny that something changed that day. The bullet missed his brain by inches, but it struck the heart of the movement. It reignited it. It sanctified it. He walks with more caution now, not just for safety, but with reverence. Every step feels, to him, like a second chance. Every breath is a borrowed one. His Secret Service detail has grown tighter, more solemn. But it's not just their eyes that follow him. It's the gaze of a nation still trying to comprehend what happened that day. Some say it was just luck. Others say it was just a hardened skull. But the faithful, they speak of the wind that shifted, of the hand that guided the bullet away. Of the supporter who died not in vain, but as a martyr to a cause that now burns brighter. At rallies now, there are crosses. There are tears. There are chants not just of USA, but of God saved him. And Trump, once the self-styled outsider, now leans into the role of reluctant prophet. Not a preacher, but a man awakened to power beyond polls. When the U.S. military struck Iran last month, Trump responded like a commander, but also like a witness. Ralph Reed's text echoed in his heart, your life was saved for this. He did not dismiss it. He absorbed it. He now surrounds himself not just with generals and advisors, but with pastors. With men and women who believe that the battlefield is not just overseas, but within the soul of America. In meetings behind closed doors, aides report a new language. Less about policy wins, more about legacies. Less about enemies, more about redemption. He speaks of Lincoln now, of Reagan, but also of Moses. Of leaders called not by ambition but by affliction. His speeches carry more pauses, more weight. And when he references the attack, he does not do so to elicit pity, but to deliver perspective. The man who once lived for applause now seems more moved by silence. By prayer. By the memory of that supporter whose name he now wears on a bracelet. He visits churches more often. Not for optics, but for grounding. The pew feels as necessary as the podium. And his opponents, confused by this transformation, struggle to respond. Some call it theatrics. Others, a campaign tactic. But the faithful, the core, know better. For them, he is not merely President Trump. He is the man who lived. Who should not have. Who walked back onto that stage when others would have been carried off. That moment is replayed endlessly in campaign ads, but also in quiet hearts. A fist raised. A man marked by fate. He has taken that pain, that near death, and folded it into a new political gospel. One of resurrection. One of purpose beyond the presidency. Now, every foreign policy decision is framed in destiny.